Which propaganda effort was so successful that people still believe it today? Story 1. I come from Germany, and it is sad to see that my grandparents are still holding on to the false, hateful beliefs that they were taught by the Nazis. For instance, they believe that when a Jewish person passes away during a Christian holiday, they should be hung behind the door so that anyone who comes in can spit on them. This is nothing but a disgusting notion, and it is nothing short of heartbreaking that they were conditioned to view it as the truth. Furthermore, they were also told that during Jewish funerals, the deceased is given a stone to keep in their pocket so that they can throw it at Jesus in the afterlife. It is an utter disgrace that this kind of indoctrination was allowed to occur. Story 2. Nestle conducted a malicious campaign suggesting that formula feeding was the superior choice, primarily targeting third world countries. Owning the majority of formula companies, Nestle became immensely wealthy as these unsuspecting, uneducated countries believed their claims. Unfortunately, the result was tragic for mothers and their babies, as the formula had to be made with contaminated water, leading to infant mortality. Fortunately, most mothers had the capability to produce their own breast milk, and the tragedy could have been avoided if not for Nestle's false promises. Story 3. Many Koreans have a deep-seated belief that leaving a fan on overnight will cause death. My mother, who immigrated to America when she was in her mid-teens, still strictly forbids me from doing so. There are rumors that this was a ploy created by the South Korean government to promote energy conservation, but the truth behind these claims remains a mystery. It is peculiar to see how this country, advanced in terms of technology, still adheres to this superstition. Story 4. Edward Bernays, deemed the father of public relations, took an activity that was widely viewed as negative and gave it a new name. He called it public relations and advertising. He even wrote an entire book dedicated to this field titled Propaganda. Propaganda is a form of media designed to influence an individual's opinion. While it can be used for either good or bad intentions, it ultimately serves the purpose of persuasion. Story 5. The lie that nuclear power is terrible has been perpetuated for generations. In the 1960s and 1970s, oil giants used advertising to link their reputation to the very real danger of nuclear weapons. Yet the truth is that nuclear power is far safer than coal power plants, which release dangerous waste into the atmosphere. In fact, the emissions from coal power plants cause more deaths per MW than nuclear power, even when Chernobyl is included in the statistics. Despite this, renewable energy sources such as solar and wind are ultimately a better solution in the long run since they don't need refueling and require less oversight. Nevertheless, nuclear power still remains an effective and reliable way to provide baseline power and should be used more often. Story 6. Those teeth are supposed to be perfectly white. People should know that a healthy set of teeth doesn't mean they're perfectly white. Super white teeth are not even normal. Our enamel will slowly become more translucent as we age, revealing the color of the dentin, which is yellow underneath. That's why, as we get older, our teeth will become yellower. This doesn't mean they're not healthy or unclean. I see teeth whitening as similar to other anti-aging measures. It doesn't make you healthier, but it does make you look younger. This is one of the biggest scams by dental care companies. They must be making a fortune selling whitening toothpaste, which really doesn't make you healthier, but it does make you look younger. Think of teeth like skin. Skin comes in different shades, just like teeth. At least that's what my dentist told me while he was checking my prostate. Did he have one hand or both hands on your shoulders? Think of teeth like skin. What the heck did you just bring upon this cursed land? Story 7. Nazi Germany was a formidable force to be reckoned with, boasting better generals, greater efficiency, and better equipped and trained soldiers up to 1942. Had it been not for Adolf Hitler's interference in the war effort, the German generals would have likely achieved victory. Despite the military's lack of knowledge regarding the Holocaust, the USSR made use of human wave tactics that, if it weren't for an unforeseen winter, could have resulted in the taking of Moscow by Germany. What is often overlooked, however, is that the truth of what happened during World War II has been heavily clouded by the German propaganda that was put into circulation following the war, as written by German generals in their war memoirs. Story 8. The myth that Spartans would throw unhealthy babies off mountains was merely Athenian propaganda. In reality, people from every polis were known to abandon infants if they believed it was necessary. Just take Oedipus, for example. However, the Athenians sensationalized the practice, claiming it was a ritualized action of the Spartans. In actuality, their main problem was that child-violating pedestry was not exclusive to their civilization, but rather a part of Greek and Roman culture. Story 9. In Christianity, the fiery, torturous place known as hell is largely a tool employed by church leaders to keep followers in line. Contrary to popular belief, this concept does not originate from the Bible. Rather, Jesus referred to hell as Gehenna, a cursed valley just outside of Jerusalem. He was trying to illustrate that those who did not adhere to his teachings will be as good as dead to the world, cut off from its joys and blessings. Story 10. Most countries' educational systems appear to be engineered to establish a small elite of highly educated, affluent, and influential individuals while simultaneously weeding out everyone else. In my country, those students who do not achieve satisfactory marks in their early schooling are placed in an inferior, underfunded system in which no one pays attention to the social issues of the children, who are typically from impoverished backgrounds. This education track ends drastically earlier than the highest one, with no clear pathway for these children to pursue a university education. It's almost as if this system is intended to create inexpensive, underprivileged workers. Story 11. The age-old tradition of giving a ring to seal an engagement may have started as far back as the 1920s or 30s. But prior to this period, there was no such custom. It was a diamond company, Zales perhaps, that initiated the idea of an engagement ring and the notion that a man should spend 3 months' salary on it if he was truly serious about his pledge. Considering the fact that diamonds are actually of little commercial value, if it weren't for the industry's price manipulation, they would be incredibly cheap. This could easily be seen as one of the most successful propaganda campaigns in history, though obviously not as grand as religion. Story 12. The infamous Reefer Madness campaign was incredibly powerful in influencing the boomer generation, so much so that it has held back the legalization of cannabis across the United States for many years. Hemp is a remarkable and multifaceted resource with the potential to create an array of economical and eco-friendly products. Had the government not succeeded so immensely in their mission to vilify marijuana, we could be enjoying the far-reaching benefits of hemp in our everyday lives today. Story 13. The power of capitalism is so effective that it almost seems like nobody questions it. But if we look at the evidence, it's clear that the system is broken. For instance, why are wages so unequal in the workplace? Why is it that the CEO earns hundreds of times more than the average worker, yet works the same number of hours? And why is it that commuting is never paid for? Meanwhile, companies can increase their profits by using marketing tactics that encourage people to buy more than they need, like showing people using huge amounts of shampoo and toothpaste in their advertisements. We need to start challenging these conventions and thinking about how we can create a more equitable economic system. Story 14. Many people still believe asbestos is harmless despite evidence, and I'm guessing we might actually see a rise in this belief soon as Donald Trump's name is now associated with the mineral. Despite numerous claims that asbestos is safe, it has been proven to be dangerous. Yet, the process of removing it from homes has been made even harder by Scott Pruitt's recent deregulation efforts. This means that people all over the world will continue to be exposed to the toxic substance and are being lied to about its safety. What makes this even more of a travesty is the fact that Trump's name has been used to endorse and promote the use of asbestos.